Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Hey Kid 05, with another installment of my spoken word series. This is episode 22. I'm going to entitle this one Dads, because this is a message to all the fathers out there. Men, we need to be better fathers. That's just the God's honest truth. We need to be better fathers. As I've been going through my life, I've been noticing some of the men that have been a part of my life, who've been father figures in my life, and they were better father figures than the dad I had in my life. They were there for me at times when my father wasn't. They made sure that there was experiences I would have in life, and they made sure that those experiences I had were not terrible experiences. You know, they made sure that my life was safeguarded. They wanted me to grow up a certain way, and they made sure that I was going to do that. Now, I'm not discrediting my dad. He's been there for me when I was a kid. But as I started growing up, becoming a teenager, my father let up the slack. When I turned 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, my dad wasn't there. Now, yes, I have both my parents in my life, and I thank God for having that. But just because you have both parents in your life doesn't necessarily mean that your life is a spectacular one. My dad didn't really do much of anything with us. He used to take us down to the batting cage and everything when we were kids, like maybe 6 and up, to about maybe 9 or 10. But once we started getting up in age, like around 12, 13, and started getting older, he really didn't want to do anything with us. You know, I went through most of my childhood going through some experiences that I really wasn't ready to accept. I really wasn't ready to accept the whole idea of experimenting with drugs. I never thought that I would experiment with that. I never thought I would. You know, and I did. And I wish to God that I hadn't. I feel like if my dad was there more in my life, that I wouldn't have to worry about experiencing drugs, or having to know that regretful feeling of using drugs or doing drugs. I know that a lot of dads out here wish they could be better fathers to their kids. And I'm telling you, it's never too late. It's not. Just because your kids might be older now doesn't mean that it's too late. They still are alive. So long as they're alive, you still have time. You know, there's no reason as to why fathers today are not spending the opportunity they should have, are not taking advantage of the opportunities they have to spend time with their kids. I want to be a father someday. And when I do, I'm hoping that I will be a better father to my kids than my father was to me. Today I want to record this video just for the dads out there. Just for them to know that just because life really is messed up and you went through a rough childhood doesn't mean you have to put your kids through one. There were days way back when I was around 12 and 13 that I wish my dad had prepared me for, or that I wish that my dad had talked to me about. But sadly, I didn't really get that opportunity. And I wish that I could go back and have those experiences with my dad and say, hey, okay, well, you shaped me up into being a good man. I've learned a lot from life. I can't necessarily say from my dad, but from life itself, period. A lot of the things I went through in life were just nothing more than experiences that were to shape me into being a better person. I really do believe that me experimenting with drugs, it really, to put it bluntly, it was something that gave me a harsh reality that life isn't worth living unless you're doing everything you got to do. Now, my father, he does work hard. He's a hard-working man. I'm not going to discredit that. But it's more to life than just working every day. Dads, spend more time with your kids. If you have a work schedule, cut that schedule in half. Your kids are the future. What are we going to do with ourselves if our kids were to grow up one day and they have kids and they're being even meaner to their kids? You know, there's a saying that the hurt. In other words, those who are hurt or have been hurting or are being hurt others. And that much is true. I know the bulk of my childhood when I was like 13, 14 years old. And because I used to get bullied on in school when I was in elementary school and middle school, because I used to get bullied on, I always took my anger out on everyone else. Like, okay, I think it was more around 15 to 16, to be honest, because by my 8th grade year, I was already a bully. You know, walking into 6th grade, I was tired of people picking on me. There was one boy named K.C. Davenport, and I hated K.C. You know, I was just like, he was a popular kid. Everybody talked about K.C., how cool K.C. was, and everything like that. And I really didn't like K.C. I was like, really, yo, for real, you're not any better than I am. I was better in football than K.C. was. I was better in most sports than K.C. was. But everybody sat there and, yeah, K.C., yeah, they all cheered for him. But I was better than K.C. And I was so good that other people on the teams, they wanted to pick me and put me on their teams. They fighting between having me on their team rather than K.C. But every time when K.C. was playing, now everybody cheered for him. Because people do that with the popular people. When you're in school, you learn that the popular kids, they're going to have a better life than you. But the only reason why they sitting there enjoying that because they have a messed up life. So, like I said, I haven't really made a lot of my videos very religious, but I do want to stick a little bit of religion into this one. You know, the Bible says that the sin of the fathers befall the sons. Let's analyze that. So if you have an experience in your life where you are doing something wrong, like you're a woman beater, or you experiment with drugs, or you know, you're experimenting with homosexuality, then what's going to happen is your kids, when they start to get towards that age, are going to experience the same thing. My dad, he experimented with drugs when he was around my age, and now so did I. You know, like my dad, he was a womanizer. You know, there were a lot of girls always over his house and everything like that. You know, he got all the girls. I'll say that much about my dad. My dad, he was shit back then. Now, he ain't shit. You know, to put it pure and simple. You know, but so a lot of that, I remember, him telling me that. And the same thing wound up happening to me, you know. There were times where I wish I had kept my virginity, but I didn't. And I lost it, you know. And it was just like, really. I've had 4, and this being my 5th relationship I'm in now, 4 unsuccessful, 1 successful relationship right now. And God placed that in my life. God put this woman in my life for a reason. That's to shape me to be a better man. I can't learn from my father any longer. My father can't teach me much of anything anymore. My dad couldn't teach me much of anything back then anyway. There were days and times that I wished to God that my father hadn't been so much of an asshole to me. You know? I used to say to my dad, you know, why do you always have to act like that? And this is me referencing why he always is mean and everything like that and always high-hitting. That's because he had a rough childhood himself. But that's no reason to project your failures in life, the fact that you never finished high school, the very fact that, you know, you had to witness your mother being beaten by men that you didn't even know, you know, that can shape somebody up to be a pure hateful person, you know. And I wish that I could, I say it every day, I wish that I could go back in the past and take that pain away from him so that way he don't take it out on me. But I can't. I can't take that pain he had away. And it's not my place to. So I'm sending this ultimatum to all the dads out there. Treat your kids right. Because you never know what your kids will grow up to be one day. I'm hoping to go to University of Maryland and become a football player. I want to get drafted into the NFL. I really want to play football. I've made this conscious decision in my mind now that I want to do this. I am the type of person that likes to maximize every use of my talents. And this is not something my father taught me. I learned a lot of life experiences from my mother. Now, in the next video, I will record one for the mothers. So this is part 1 that I'm going to call Spoken Word Episode 22, Dads. I'm going to record part 2, which is episode 23. And this one I'm going to be speaking to all the mothers out there. Grown men, it's never too late. When you have boys, it is the hardest daggone thing in life to experience, because it's like your boys are going to be your boys. At the end of the day, they're going to be your boys. But what are you going to do to shape them into being men? The one thing I would hate to see is that I have a son someday and I treat my son like shit. And my son goes on in life and he treats his kids, my little grandbabies, like crap. And it's my fault. The one thing I would hate is for that to happen. I don't want the experience I ever had to be an experience anyone ever has. As I said, the hurt. And they always will. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today can be the day that all the fathers around the world can change. So dads, I'm hoping that some men watch this, and whoever watched this video, I want you to sit down, I want you to put this video on with your father. I really am sending this ultimatum to dads, and today I really want a lot of men to watch this. We have a position in life. Now I don't have it yet because I don't have any kids, but even if you have a son or a daughter, or if you have more than one, today is the day for you to do the right thing with your kids. To teach them to be children of God. If you don't believe in God, then teach them to be right people. Don't have them travel down paths in life where things just aren't necessarily the same. Love your kids. Be part of your kids' life. Have your kids understand that life might be hard, but guess what? As long as there's a sun in the sky, there's always going to be a tomorrow. It's all about living for that day. Thank you.